your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes.
West and North South. This is FleurBrun coming to you today with a couple of wonderful discussions. So check on in. I hope everyone is well and thriving. So we have a lot to discuss. A lot has been occurring out in the matrix, and I think it's only fair that we get it in. So I'm going to actually play something for you first before. Okay, and I want you to listen to the discussion while we're waiting for everyone to check in. Put a handy dandy like if you're stepping in.
It's just now finally getting in the queue, or this big quarantine that's coming. It's waking people up. It's making a lot of people scared. Just to cross some T's, dot some I's real quick. If you're prepping, continue to prep. I would say you probably could get away with just like a week or two's worth of food and water. You don't have to go crazy. Toilet paper and stuff, just the basic needs around the house. Medications, if you want to pick up medications. The best way I can put this as far as what to expect, because I'm a military veteran and I was in the Marine Corps, but I've never actually experienced martial law myself personally. So if you look at the indictment map, okay, you can find it on qmap.pub. I posted it on my Instagram and Facebook. If you lay the Q map for the indictment list that we have, there's over 147,000 grand jury sealed cases ready to go that have been stacked since 2017 when Q first posted and John Durham was first appointed by Jeff Sessions. So that's where that information is coming from. If you lay the indictment map right over the coronavirus the outbreak map that they have, it's an exact replica. And if you notice in the news, most of the people that are coming down with this virus are high-powered elites, Hollywood, CEOs, actors and actresses, media personalities, political personalities. It's all the big name people that seem to be catching this virus and that are really causing the hysteria. And even Bill Gates today, that was a huge breaking news story. He's stepping down as CEO of Microsoft. The Pentagon is reviewing their contract that they had with Microsoft, which is important because originally it was going to be between Microsoft and Amazon. Now, Amazon is owned by Jeff Bezos, who also owns the Washington Post, which is a huge fake news outlet, as we know. So when the Pentagon scrubbed Amazon and chose Microsoft, that was big because Amazon already has a $500 million CIA contract for data cloud sharing, which is important because your data, your personal financial data, it builds a personal profile of you online that creditors and marketers and all these people can continually flood you with ads for products that you are only talking about. So not only is your phone spying on you and processing all that information and taking all of your data and giving it to third-party vendors, that's why when you're talking about a product or a service with some friends and then you go on your phone, it's the first thing that pops up. That's why we call it the Matrix, because they want to keep you in a constant state of consumerism by pounding you with things that that they know that you're interested in. So you just keep spending money, keep locking yourself in that mindset of consumerism and entertainment. I'm digressing a little bit, but I just want to put that out there so that people know why the data sharing is so important, why these contracts with the CIA are so important, and why this contract being reviewed now by the Pentagon with Microsoft is so important. Because those are the two biggest companies that the Pentagon's been working with, and both of those companies, as we know, are deep state assets and deep state control mechanisms. So Bill Gates stepping down today, his father was head of Planned Parenthood. Okay, Bill Gates and the Gates family have been putting their hands in reproductive health services, vaccines, and all that other nonsense for decades. as part of their Agenda 2020 and Agenda 2030 depopulation program. And anybody that says that that's a conspiracy theory, all you got to do is Google what Bill Gates says at these various TED Talks and at these various Bilderberg meetings and everything that he's doing. He openly says that he's trying to decrease the population and feel really good about reproductive health services, which is funny because nothing's being reproduced by abortion. The Democrats, they wanted to fight Trump tooth and nail for a $5 billion payment for the border wall at the southern border. But if you notice, recently, in the last few days, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats proposed an $8.2 billion bill to fight the coronavirus. And if you notice, Pelosi also tucked in a $1 billion federal program or grant for abortion. That has nothing to do with the coronavirus. Anybody with logical sense and common sense can see that. And anybody that's been following Q for a while knows the true story behind abortion and why that's relevant. But it's important to connect the two because the Democrats are the one that threw the abortion part into the funding bill for the coronavirus. Again, $8.2 billion to fight a virus that is 40,000 times less lethal than the flu has been since the coronavirus first became a pandemic in the news and all this other stuff over the last few weeks. It's all fake news. I'm not saying that it's not a threat. If you're an elderly person with pre-existing conditions, you're just as likely to get this as much as you are to get the flu or anything else. But if you're a healthy individual, like everybody with common sense and a medical degree has been saying, this is not the threat that the world thinks it is, and the lockdown is for a much different reason. The whole country of Italy is locked down right now. Germany, Chancellor Merkel, okay, she has refused to close her border. And she turned around this week and told her entire country that most of you will get sick, 70% of you will get sick. Now, if you're a president or a leader of a country and the entire world is under a pandemic and your neighboring country is one of the hot spots and ground zeros for this pandemic, why would you not close your border? Okay, so there's a lot of things going on in Germany and the EU, which is why we have the flight cancellations from foreigners who have been to certain countries. I think it's 26 countries that are not allowed to come into the United States. Now, optical reasons for that in the news media, fake news media, Trump has to portray that he's combating the virus when really what he's doing is isolating Europe. And there's a current live fire training exercise that kicked off called Defender Europe 2020, I believe. And that has at least over 18,000 U.S. troops in conjunction with 12,000 UN troops that are in Europe right now without any hazmat gear, without any special coronavirus protection, which the National Guard has been activated across the country because we're in a national emergency now. And as a Marine, logically speaking, you don't throw U.S. troops into a ground zero pandemic area when your whole country is in lockdown for a pandemic itself and the National Guard's been called up. So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. The Vatican was raided several times over the last 6 months for their financial records. The Pope has been underwater. The Pope is also infected, and we all know who the Pope really is. So this is a military operation. We are rounding up the deep state as we speak. Everybody that's getting the coronavirus and exiting the public view is doing so under the guise of quarantine. After this quarantine is over, by all accounts that I've seen in the research with the Q Post, done in 30, cleaning house. Cleaning house means disinfecting. You're disinfecting your house. The virus is the deep state. The virus is the storm. And we took the deep state virus that they were going to launch against the public. And we took that panic and we took that method and we flipped it, and we're basically just reversing the outcome. If Hillary Clinton had been elected, the pandemic would be an actual pandemic. You would actually see weaponized 5G across the world. You would see the coronavirus being way more weaponized and way more lethal. So a lot of reports that have been coming out of China have been super scary, and they've also been super calming. I think I posted a video where Wuhan city residents were actually screaming outside their apartment building saying, it's all made up, this is all fake. So personal discernment with all this stuff. But this is it. This was a long time coming. The Fed is being restructured as we speak. We're putting a halt on payroll taxes. The Fed also introduced a whole 0.5 point reduction in rates, which I think our rating from the Fed was only like 1.75% or 2% or something like that. So a 0.5 point drop is absolutely huge. And the Fed is actually just literally pumping $1.5 trillion into the economy as a stimulus to be able to weather the corona lockdown effects across the economy. Small businesses are going to get federal grants. They're going to get zero interest loans. So the president is trying to make sure that the people and small businesses and the economy doesn't suffer while National Guard is called in. Martial law is going to be called in eventually. Again, just look at the COVID-19 map and look at the indictment map. Those are the areas that you should most be concerned about. If you're not in a high target area, I wouldn't worry. I would still prep. But this is the storm. We've been preparing for this for 2 years now, at least. And we're going to do the best that we can to try to update you. I'm going to start kicking off podcasts again because there's just so much going on. I don't want to keep blasting your news feeds with articles every 10, 15 minutes. And I know there's a lot of people out there with questions, and people like the explanation a little bit more than just reading the post by themselves. So this is a very exciting time to be alive. It really is. And if everything pulls out the way that we think it does, guys, this is just the very beginning of a complete year of 2020 vision for 2020. And we're going to watch the entire old guard be systematically destroyed, and we get to watch in real time. So be proud that you're awake. Be proud that you're paying attention. We made it through all the fake news. We made it through all the naysayers and all the abuse that we took over the years. And it's going to be worth it. And already people are blowing me up. It's been and I know every other non out there too. I have so many normie friends and family members now that are actually just asking my opinion. Whether they believe me or not is irrelevant. But the fact that they're asking questions, again, this is huge. So have a great night. We'll update you more as we can. MAGA, where we go on, we go on. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, family. Thank you. I want to thank Indigo by Nature, who shared this with me. Thank you, Indigo by Nature. So, peace, family. Peace to the east, the west, north, and south. We're going to get into the conversation. I hope everyone's calm. When you step in the room, just take a deep breath and exhale. All is good in the hood. This is a wonderful day in our neighborhood. So what the gentleman was going on to discuss is what we're talking about. The TPTV apocalypse is a psyop. It's basically smoke and mirrors. It's meant to distract the masses, which, you know, when you see people fighting in Australia over toilet paper going ham, literally beating each other up over toilet paper, when you see people obsessing with shopping and you notice that just by showing videos of what could be lack or competition causes people to follow and go into a fever. It's a sad day when you have the sheeple literally just following the ebb and flow of whatever's projected to them. But these beings aren't our conversation. This is a lot higher and deeper than anything that was ever really projected for this time. So family, we have the deep state. According to many different intelligence, it took me a while to come to you. I had to make sure I got a lot of information. There's a lot of false information being projected out there, and there's a lot of great information that's legitimate being pumped out there. So there's a combination platter. So you know when you go and you say when you go and order your food, it's like, hey, give me the combination platter. Combination platter can include, you know, vegetables on the side. Maybe you like carrots as opposed to asparagus. Maybe you want, you know, pumpernickel bread as opposed to, you know, regular sourdough bread. Maybe you want your vegetarian meal as opposed to steak and potatoes. This is a combination platter. It isn't just one thing. It's a multitude of things that are combining to cause a mass shutdown. Okay? So we're going to kick it from the top. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into the conversation. All is good. Just know that this is necessary as we have the collapsing of a system. It is the Purge 2020, family. We are literally seeing the Vatican City has had several raids at this point, directing for paperwork, for scams of money being laundered. That is why Italy isn't shut down. Europe is literally being shut down to keep criminals in and keep people from trying to dip out and trying to escape their fate. There is mass arrest, and I had to legitimize it. I didn't want to come to you giving you fake news unless I could legitimize that some of this was occurring, and yes, it is. Literally, there are lockdowns in Italy because there is the Vatican City, which has tons of pedophile pictures of children. That is why, now we know why Corey Feldman made a big point as to he was being used as the kickoff of the mass arrest. That is also why you had, allegedly, a specific NBA player dipping out before he could be arrested, and perhaps allegedly creating a spoof of a false death in order to escape some further investigations into some covert activities going on with the Chinois. Okay, so we have a lot going on. We have mass arrests that are going on. And yes, the gentleman who just talked right now, big up to the Sea Star who shared it with me, we have 18,000 troops that are sent into Europe, and literally there isn't one of them wearing masks. They've been, many of them have been seen without masks. If we have a pandemic, family, why are the troops going into Europe and they don't have any hazmat suits? Why are they going into Europe and they haven't been given any masks to wear? There are some you're being seen with it, but from direct people, they're saying that they're seeing them without masks. So these are heels on ground, sea stars on ground. Nor when you say boots on ground, these are sea stars on ground, and they're saying that the American troops aren't seen with any hazmat. So it means that if we're having a so-called alleged pandemic, why is it that in the hotspot, which is considered to be Europe, you're seeing military going in? It means that they're doing a sweep. Many criminal organizations are being literally arrested and held. That's why they're telling you they're going into quarantine, self-quarantine. You have several different people, including majority of CEOs, which are all now under investigation and may in fact be indicted. We have we have Bill Gates, who's also stepped down, who is also under investigation and is most likely allegedly going to be indicted. We have Tom Hanks and his wife. We have several different people. So I'm going to read, if I can get it, hold on. I know that, let me read something to you, family, because I like to come with some, FleurBrun's actually coming, big up to everyone on the Aquaterra fast. We're getting it in. Hold on, let me see if I can get this for you. Okay. I'm going to read something for you to give you an idea, and then we'll go into the discussion, okay? This morning at 4:30 a.m., Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was served a criminal indictment by the U.S. for corporate and financial crimes. Media owners were instructed to brainwash everyone that Trudeau and his wife have the coronavirus and that they won't be leaving their house for a while, including the Queen. We'll go into that. Queen Elizabeth is also... thank you, Indigo by Nature. Tom Hanks was arrested 48 hours ago for pedophilia, and he is currently being kept in a hotel room in Australia, refusing to fly back to the U.S. The next celebrity arrests will be Celine Dion, Madonna, Charles Barkley, who also has gone into self-quarantine because he is under investigation, Kevin Spacey. All will claim coronavirus infections. Now, mind you, this was made previous to even Charles Barkley coming out and saying that he's self-quarantining. Italy's airports have been completely shut down as over 80 Vatican and financial officials have been served the same criminal indictments to financial crime, pedophilia, child trafficking, and sexual abuse. United Emirates has completed mass arrests of their own royal family and affiliates. Okay, that's in Saudi Arabia. Convicted Hollywood rapist Harvey Weinstein agreed. Now, family, what many don't know is Harvey Weinstein did agree. These are names that were dropped. So the deep state is being arrested. He made a plea deal. Nobody knew about the plea deal, and that's why you're getting mass arrest, because he basically let the floodgates come out and he told everything. He sung like a canary. Okay? So convicted Hollywood rapist Harvey Weinstein agreed to a deal in exchange for his testimony against hundreds of top Hollywood celebrities and their involvement in drug business, pedophilia, and child trafficking. Instead of a 55-year sentence, he only received a 23-year sentence. In exchange, the provided testimonies. Oh, Nazine. Okay, hold on. I'm getting messages as I'm reading this to you. He only received 23-year sentence. In exchange, he provided testimonies against some of the biggest and most powerful names, including Prince Andrew of the UK, former President Bill Clinton, former Vice President Joe Biden, Tom Hanks, Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, Quentin Tarantino, Charlie Sheen, Bob Saget, Kevin Spacey, John Travolta, Steven Spielberg, Podesta, NXIVM, and Pizzagate, sex trafficking clubs, and hundreds more who are all directly involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was similarly allowed to make a deal and had his suicide in prison faked in exchange for his testimony. Listen to me again, family. We talked about this. Remember, I said it. He wasn't dead. Listen to again. Jeffrey Epstein was similarly allowed to make a plea deal and have his suicide in prison faked in exchange for his testimony because they needed to save his life. They would have assassinated him if they thought he was alive. CEOs of some of the major world corporations have been indicted and arrested, and some have been forced to resign. Forced to resign. They're not stepping down. When have you ever seen several different CEOs step down at one point? They're being forced and they're being investigated, and a lot of them arrested. All in the last 30 to 60 days, such as the CEO of NBA, Harley Davidson, the Bill Gates Foundation, Intel, McDonald's. That's why I have the McDonald's on the pin. Caesar Awards, Disney, the Vatican's chief of police, etc. Approximately 700 to 800 more resignations are coming in the next 3 months. The lab-created coronavirus was a cover-up for the mass mandatory vaccination agenda. Now it has become the biggest covert U.S. intelligence operation that the world has ever seen. This mass 158,000 arrests operation will remove and capture the biggest evil and corrupted politicians, celebrities, and CEOs, including global elites and bankers such as George Soros, UN officials, and the founders of Greta, Inc. Yo, it's coming out, family. President Trump will win the 2020 election, and the arrest of the former U.S. presidents will occur in early 2021. All major arrests will be portrayed by the media as accidental or conspiratory. All arrested individuals will be given Romal death, meaning that they will have a choice between their death, death. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you, Carlin. I can't see you, but thank you, Carlin. Carlin, just email me. I want to talk to you. All major arrests will be portrayed by the media as accidental or conspiracy, given the Romal death, meaning that they will have a choice between their death, being portrayed to the public as a suicide or an accidental death. I told you what's his name didn't die, but I did that on Patreon because I don't want to get in trouble. Accidental death to return for assurances that his or her reputation will remain intact, or alternatively, they can choose to face a criminal trial that will result in public disgrace. Okay, family? A lot of them are doing this for their families, so they're getting arrested, so they're making it seem like they're dying or there's a suicide. Some top religious leaders will be arrested or forced to resign, and some will suddenly get sick. The Vatican will be the first, and the Pope will be removed in 2020. Production of human extracted adrenochrome, which will be revealed, and Hollywood and Vatican will be exposed as being directly responsible for that. Production of human extracted adrenochrome, which is connected to the pineal gland. We'll go into that another time. It's part of the harvesting. Coming up, there will be a 2-month complete shutdown of the world's most common operations, such as schools, the stock market, some banks, airports, shipping, travel, events, galas, expos, sports games, sport championships, music, award ceremonies, NBA, NHL, baseball games, and ship cruises. There will be food shortages and stage electrical power loss. Gas prices will go down, food costs will go up, insurance will go up, gold and silver stocks will fall, and many corporations will either go bankrupt or take a significant financial loss, such as the case of what's about to happen to Air Canada, Disney, and Coca-Cola. Welcome to the Great Awakening. What's about to happen this summer and fall will change the world's history. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to the Grand Aquarius, the onset, the preempt of Aquarius coming in. This is a beautiful time on the planet. This is literally occurring right now. Congratulations for anyone who is here to witness the shift. I literally I had chills going down, up and down my spine. This is literally a way to distract you. So family, what is going on with the cucarachas or the COVID or whatever they call it, T virus, whatever they're calling, this is basically a way to distract the majority of the sheeple, because remember, they're buying all the toilet paper. They've lost their mind. And if you're smart enough, you know that toilet paper, big up to my Intellis as well, there is a PSYOP with that as well. My wonderful, amazing, smart, savvy Intellis let us know, because she is a nurse and she works in a system where she knows things. The toilet paper also has chemicals on it. It can cause a host of problems. We were talking about you staying away from white toilet paper, that classic toilet paper. So all of the toilet paper, hoarders, they will have their own apocalypse. A nice indoor bidet, so wash your tushy and it doesn't have to clean. You don't have to murder a tree to clean your tush, okay? So get yourself a bidet while you can still order. Get yourself a nice little spritzer with healthy water, and you don't have to worry about the toilet paper apocalypse. They're all mentally ill. These are probably empty seaters. People who like to drink a lot are going to be eating a lot of canned foods in their houses. They will literally be zombies by the time they come out. So this isn't for you to get involved with such nonsense. Okay, that's a distraction. Okay, there's much going on. We had several different CEOs that are being stepped down. What you saw as being stepped down, you also seeing all these celebrities going on doing their ritual of trying to say that they have the virus, and that's all bait and switch. They're basically out there covering themselves up as they are going to be dealt with behind closed doors. Now, big up to the Intellis, the Inner Earth Intellis years ago. I think it was 4 years ago. Remember the video? I had to go back to the video. That's what I'm saying. I've been doing my own research. I had to go back to the Inner Earth being that told me there would be mass arrests in the future. Remember I told you he's from the Inner Earth. It was a brown man with blue eyes. I don't know. It's like 4 years ago. You can see the video if you go back on my videos. And I remember telling you guys there was going to be mass arrests, and I didn't believe it. I was like, how are they going to do all these mass arrests? How would it be possible? This is literally how it's possible, okay? So you have 1,160 CEOs in the last year. Wait, Rada just said this. 1,160 CEOs in the last year stepped down. Okay, so CEOs generally don't step down. They phase their job out. They retire. They tap out. Usually you rarely see CEOs step down. They usually live out their times as a CEO, and they generally will fade away gracefully in the wind. For them to step down, and a mass amount of them, if you think, family, that's by chance, for all those people who call us conspiracy theorists, for all those people who always criticize us for seeing the innuendos, for seeing the nonsense, when we see the, what does it say? A lot of times when you see, like, you're seeing between the lines. We see it. We pay attention more to everything. A lot of us are empaths. We see things and we see from different angles. When you're seeing several different CEOs stepping down at one time, is that normal to you? Is that normal for you? That's a fact. So when I say that we're making things up and we're creating, these nonsense theories, it isn't true. We have tangibility. They themselves have made the announcements that they're stepping down. When you have someone like who we've always accused, Bill Gates, of being a eugenicist, being paid by the Nazis, and we know his wife was part of Planned Parenthood, which is personally he should be brought up on charges of murder and genocide, because Planned Parenthood is put in every hood, and there has been a majority of babies that have been, a lot of mothers have killed their babies based on these disgusting departments placed in the areas, and then also eugenics programs giving women all types of birth control that is damaging their reproduction organs overall long term. So this is a beautiful day on the planet, everyone. So I wanted to make sure I came to you with positive news. I had to back some of this up. I didn't want to come to you totally. This was something that was shared. Now that I read was shared online by several different people online. There was about 3 Nistas, big up to the Cypher crew, 3 people on Facebook shared that with me. The gentleman who talked online, I think I'll share his link when I get off. So these are non-related, non-connected. So that's what I'm saying. I had to make sure when I did my own investigation that I wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting information from the same arena, because a lot of times when you're getting intel, you got to make sure it's not bait, it's a covert way to kind of direct you in one direction. So what I'll do is I'll put the links on when I get off, and you can take a look and listen and read yourself. So basically, family, welcome to the new age of Aquarius. This again is a beautiful time. I want to make sure you're staying out of fear. You can chill out. Yes, many of the schools have been closed. Many of the airports, a lot of domestic flights have been disabled. Yes, you are being told that perhaps you won't be able to go to work, and we've already discussed this. This is a beautiful time when you have quality time to spend with your family. And you have to also realize, for the fact that many of us are of a particular vibration, what would be negative about you staying home and spending time with people in your same frequency? So you aren't overlapping with those who are low fields, empty seaters, narcissists, sociopaths. You actually get time to rest. Many of you work very hard. You're always getting up to an alarm clock to go and participate in the matrix. Many of you haven't taken care of yourself in years. What would be the harm in you staying home? And the government will make sure that bills won't be required to be paid. There will be a reprieve, basically like a flatlining of any mortgages. Mortgages from, even in Europe, mortgages have been there's a 3-month leniency. Bills will have leniency. The only thing I will say, family, to be careful, because they are isolating people in their homes, there's going to be mass arrests. So people who've been doing crimes, you shouldn't be shocked if people who are selling drugs, doing diabolical things other than governmental officials, they probably will be taken out at this point. So that shouldn't shock you. So if you are a pedophile who are watching this video, if you have done harm against children, women, and animals, you most likely will be shrimped up right now. You'll be swept up in this wave of arrests, and we're okay with that. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you, HBI. Thank you, my love. You will be caught up in this hopefully you will be also taken and dealt with and have consequences karmically. We're okay with that. But for the majority of you, I hope that you're staying calm and know that you have all you need. I want you to be positive. I also want you to say, people buying all this craziness, going by breads, go make fresh bread at home. Go spend time with your children and your husband. Go chill out and take a bath for an hour and fall asleep a little bit and wake up and know that there isn't any alarm that's going to wake you up in the morning to disturb your peace. Know that this is a beautiful time in the planet, and this is benefiting those who are in alignment with the higher frequency of 5 and D. Okay? I just want you to be proactive, because remember, they're kicking and screaming right now. The dark Kabbalists are pissed off, and they're going to try to do antis to they're going to run away kicking and screaming and trying to mess up everything as they get out. Okay? Remember I told you that Jeffrey Epstein did not die? I had gotten that intel directly at the same time, and I said he wasn't dead. That was a fake suicide. But I thought that he was off enjoying himself. Oh no, family. He's in witness protection. They had to do that because they would have assassinated him before he ever got a chance to give names. Weinstein is doing the same. All these names are coming out of people who were participating in sexual acts with children, people participating in Satanist and Luciferian drug exchange. These are people who are participating in organ swapping. Many people are going to be arrested and dealt with, and we will not see them again. So this whole smoke screen of them all, when have you ever seen several different celebrities going on saying that they have a virus? When have you ever seen that? Oh, they have a virus. So you're seeing all these celebrities saying they have a virus because it's a setup. It's literally saying that they have to dip out, and during this time when they're under investigation, when they're being arrested, when they're being arraigned for the crimes against humanity, we have to have this because it would cause mass hysteria, especially in the Satanist Luciferian sect. A lot of the Satanists and Luciferians are on the loose right now, and that's why Germany is one of the only borders that enclosed itself. In Germany, big up to all my German family, you need to be vigilant there, because Germany has left its borders open because it's allowing criminals to get in because they can't go anywhere else. All the criminals in Europe are going by car now, trying to find a place where they can hide. Germany, because it has a lot of dark, Nazi ties, they are giving reprieve to a lot of these criminals. So they left their borders. They're one of the only borders left open in Europe. So they're trying to go and dip out into Germany. So Germany, be vigilant. Disallow these beings. Do your own energetic vortex protection. Put a big vortex over your country to protect yourself from diabolical ones and to cause for some justice to be served. So do that so that we can get some justice, so that they aren't allowed to go and run away into Germany. Oh, thank you, Amica Rose. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, my love. So, listen, family, Bulgaria is open too. Okay, so they're trying to leave. There's certain borders that they're leaving open. Bulgaria is a little less, they may not feel, maybe they don't feel like they're a smaller country, so maybe that's why they're leaving it open. So, family, what do you think? Listen, family, we knew that this was the end of a cycle. This is something that we all accepted. We accepted this a while ago. This was the end of the cycle. We accepted that there was going to be a shift. How the shift would happen, we couldn't ever have predicted. And to be honest, I don't think it would have been right that we could have predicted it, because it would have given a heads up to the dark ones. So we all had to be kind of like caught off guard a little bit. Because if we were all in the know, they would have literally mind swiped us and been able to try to covertly escape from their own consequences. So I think in that itself, it's okay. Make sure that you are staying high vibrationally. Again, they will try their dirty deeds to make sure that they try to evade any form of consequence. There is more than just a few that is being announced. There are several different entities that are on every aspect of our society. That's why they're locking down cities. Do know we're going in lockdown. And during this time of lockdown, they are going to go house to house to get rid of these bastards. Also, they heightened up the surveillance. What looked like it was harmful for some of us was actually going to be beneficial in another manner. Okay? So know that there's going to be a mass sweep of diabolical ones. Like I said, as long as you're observing without participating in any dark deeds, harm to children, animals, the environment, you shouldn't be concerned about any consequence coming from this. This is a beautiful time. You're in Israel. Israel is also shut down. Oh, perfect, my love. Good. Israel shut down. Spain is on shutdown. Israel is on shutdown. Paraguay is on shutdown. Who else is on shutdown? France is protesting. France is on shutdown. France, I think their borders are closed. Yafi's in Israel. Yafi, somebody said they're in Israel right now. She said you guys are in shutdown. Can you verify? Ecuador is in shutdown. Italy is in shutdown. Canada is shutting down soon. U.S. already shut its borders down, but U.S. is going to Kenya shut down. Let's see who else. Italy, yes, we have several different shutdowns. It's a global shutdown. That's what lets you know how small our planet is. This is how lets you know how close we are. So what is a resolve, family? What can we do? We know that we're going into unity consciousness. So I have to say this to each one of you. Ireland is shutting down? Okay. Oh, okay. You told me on Skype. That's right. Okay. Australia is also self-quarantine. Bay Area shut down. Austria. Okay. Okay, there's going to be a collapse of the system, family. So just know that the dollar, that's what I'm saying. I could tell empty seaters. All the empty seaters are, and I shouldn't call them. I apologize. Let me say this. That was a judgment. Let me apologize. Not everybody who obsesses with money is an empty seater. I just say that because I think they're egregiously misaligned. The economy will crash as far as we know it, the economy as far as we remember it, okay? We won't go into tangible money like paper money, dead tree money. Oh, thank you, Guava Berry. Wait, schools in New York except NYC are shut down. You're so glad to be home, scrubbing your home and spending time with the kiddos. I'm glad this shift is here because we all need it. That is beautiful, Guava Bear. I absolutely agree. It's a time. You get to spend time with your babies. This is quality time that is well needed and well deserved. This is literally a shift in how we prioritize our life, the things in our lives. Okay? So everything will be shut down as far as the economy. We won't go into crypto. Crypto will shut down as well. They're going to start a new formal global currency. They were trying to do this before. Okay? So yes, and we probably will go into a more unified global government, which I am not against. I'm only for that which is beneficial. We have to get back to a healthy homeostasis, and we have to go into unity consciousness. That is what the Aquarius energy will bring us uniting back. Yes, baby. Oh, can you turn it? Oh, it's smoky. Oh, that's the thing. Turn it off. Oh, it's the breathing. Okay, just close the open up the side door. Okay, baby. Okay. I'm baking breadfruit. Turn up the alarm, okay? Thank you, honey. You can open up the garage. Okay? That'll help. Okay. There'll be collapse of the system. Most of the way that we perceive exchange will be very, very different in 6 months. I think 6 months we'll have a whole different system of how we use formal exchange. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you, Zion. Thank you. Yes, put a like on a video if you're in the room and you're having this discussion. You're here for the betterment of the planet. Please put a like on a video. I'd appreciate it. So we'll have one world currency, and I foresee that coming. That was part of the conspiracy theory back in the days. Many of you remember, they'd be like, oh, there's going to be a one world government, but we saw it as negative. But I really see it differently now. I see us all. There's many nations on this feed itself. We have 800 people in here. Do you know how many languages we have of everyone? My first language was French. I speak English. We have people who speak Spanish. We have people who speak Hebrew. We have people who speak Dutch. We have people who speak all forms of African Swahili, other dialects in Africa. We have many people who speak Mandarin and Cantonese. We have people who speak French, Italian, German. Do you know how many tongues we have worldwide? It would make sense now that we're seeing how the collective has been affected or maybe even impeded by the so-called T virus, a phenomenon. We're seeing how close we really are by everything, the Arabic, different tongues, the Portuguese, the Finnish. Look how many different languages on here. We have a multitude of different cultures, but look how we're united. Look at just on this feed itself, how many different people from every nationality come together. We want that oneness. We want a more one-based environment so that we can feel more connected. In order to be accepted into the federation of the Galactic Federation, they have to see us as one unit. When you go to other planets, they don't say, oh, I'm an African American, or I'm an African Earthling, I'm an African Martian. That isn't something that they say. They say that I'm a Martian, I'm from Mars, or I'm from Venus, or I'm I'm from the Pleiades, I'm Pelagian. They aren't defining themselves by complexion or by different tongue. They describe themselves by the very planet you live on. We're Earthlings. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you live in the East and I live in the West. We're still Earthlings. And in the directives of the universe, that's how we're perceived. How we're labeling ourselves and separating ourselves is all a part of a socially engineered way to create coups so that we are perpetually fighting while they dip in our pockets, while they mess with our minds, while they mind screw our children. This is all purposefully done to keep us in a separative type of mindset. At the end of the day, it's about unity consciousness, and going into oneness is going to have to come probably at a bigger, greater price to those who created the separatism. This is return to 0 point. In order to return to that 0 point, we have to begin to drop the labels and the bias, the prejudices, the perception of you and I. If it's us, there is less of that, that adversity that comes with, feeling isolated or lonely. We don't feel lonely on here because we have a multitude of different family members from every world. People always ask me, FleurBrun, how come you have all the intel? How come you get so much intel? You know why? Because I'm connected to so many magnificent women and people all over the earth, and otherwise, big up to our galactics. But I'm connected to every tongue of every woman. There hasn't been a woman I said, oh, I don't want to take your information because you're from the Netherlands. Oh, I don't want to take your information because you're from Saudi Arabia. It's insanity. I appreciate that they see me as their sister. They see me as one of them. And they want my happiness as much as I want theirs. And that's us going into unity consciousness. So if that takes us to go to a one world government under a healthier regime that's balanced with every nation, every complexion, every tongue, I'm all for it. So it looks like, family, we have massive arrests. And this is a great thing for all of the diabolical ones. Now we see why Corey Feldman's video was kicking off the first tier of the arrests. So it's going to be interesting to see how many people will start to say that they have T virus. See how many people have been participating in crimes against children. We knew it was occurring, but we want the faces to go along with the crimes. They think they're getting anonymity, but for those of us who know what's going on, there isn't any anonymity for doing harm to children. We see you, and you will be accountable for those deeds. There isn't going to be any way that you're going to live well on the same planet. You better jump off our planet, and you better hope that the news of your crimes doesn't reverberate to other planets, because they won't even let you on theirs. So just know, during this time, family, there's a couple of different things that are going on. You must watch your intake of salt and sugar during your, if we are going into quarantine. Watch your sugar and your salt. You want to make sure you're keeping yourself balanced, because they are going to raise us to 5D. Notice what I said, 5D. Okay? And part of that is you have to make sure that you're balanced electromagnetically, because if you aren't, it will have an adverse reaction with you. The higher realms have higher field technology. And because of that, we have to be balanced. This is the world we're going into. And there's a lot of pluses that are going to come with higher forms of technology that will balance out with our magnetic field. It's, our magnetic field, our biomagnetic field. Okay, so you just have to make sure you're staying balanced. Please stay away from following the sheeple. Toilet paper of mass destruction. Toilet paper has a lot of chemicals on it, especially if you're still using bleached white toilet paper. You shouldn't worry about that. You should worry about your hygiene so that you don't have to go to the bathroom so much. A healthy digestive system doesn't require for you to be on the toilet all day. Okay, so do take care of yourself in that way. Make sure that you're getting lots of rest. You aren't worried. I'm telling you, family, if you aren't one of the ones doing dark things to people or children, you should take a deep breath and say, this isn't my war, nor is this my cross to bear. Okay, so chill out at home. Make sure that you are, like I said, eating well. You want to make sure you have more supplements as far as things, making sure that you have a lot of teas, herbal teas. Most people are concerned about bread and rice. Those are things that aren't healthy for you. Having too much yeast in your gut is going to make you sick and is going to give you other issues. And having too much arsenic, things that have too much starch in it, are also going to make you sick when you're staying in the house too often. So you want to make sure you're staying balanced, staying as free and clear from starches as much as possible. Try to avoid canned things. It's okay to have a can or two, but it shouldn't be a daily necessity for you to have a canned good, because cans leach aluminum, and that can cause health issues, and it can make you really hypersensitive to any of the radio frequencies that come along with 5G. Okay, so because of that, I would suggest you do things like, if you do buy rice, then make sure you're washing it. You know, many of us West, big up to all the West Indians, we grew up washing rice. I didn't know why my mother used to wash rice. I don't like eating rice. We don't eat a lot of rice in the house, so rice isn't something that I would collect. For my prepper, the wonderful thing about my prepping that most people do like when I do my prepping videos, rice is the least thing on my list. It's like when rice to me is like what mac and cheese would be. Rice to me would be like, what's a comparison? Like how often somebody would have something they don't like. I don't do rice like that. You know, I don't serve my children rice like that. But if it's a staple, make sure you're washing it and make sure it isn't in any cans, okay? Anything too much metal on you right now, you want to clean and kind of chelate yourself. We talked about having spirulina, chlorella. Thank you. You know what? Listen, y'all, orders. Because I did a shout out to Sun Corella, big up to Sun Corella. You guys bought them all up on Amazon. I told you that Sun Corella was the bomb.com, and all of y'all bought it up. The Corella is amazing as far as keeping you healthy. It kind of ups your immune system. It keeps you nice and, alkalines your system a lot. So Sun Corella was one of the #1 recommendations I had, because it does work beautifully. If you have any coughs, and just know, listen, family, if you have a cough, a sniffly nose, that doesn't mean that you have a T virus, okay? I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it doesn't exist in the way that they're projecting to you. It is a smoke screen for something bigger, okay? So if you have a bit of a stuffy nose, if a little bit of a cough, you know, as a mother, a grandmother, or father, you know the general things to do. You should have warm tea. Cover your chest with something warm. Add a little chlorella to your system. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you're getting a lot of sleep. Make sure that you're taking nice salt baths, saline baths, to help to purge your system of anything, okay? Fevers, you can do onions on the feet. You know this. You don't have to do pharmaceuticals. It's not necessary. All pharmaceutical. Oh, thank you, my love. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, super Zachary. I appreciate it. Thank you. Things like fevers can be broke very easily. A fever just gets rid of any virus you have. You don't want to take down a fever either artificially, because a fever, just your body's natural way to get rid of viruses and diseases. So let your fever rise. You know, let yourself take on that fever and let it do what it's supposed to do, which is supposed to clean your body, your endocrine system, clean out the bacteria. Heat. A lot of things that are nasty don't like heat. That's why I told you that hell is cold and heaven is warm, okay? Because heaven doesn't have all those bacterium and gremlins running around, but hell does, because it preserves and allows things to stay longer, and cooler weather allows. That's why the cucarachas goes much better, and it's much more rampant in places that's cold, okay? Certain viruses require cool weather to be able to replicate. Heat usually disinfects it and makes it harder for them to, reproduce, okay? Depending. Heat and humidity doesn't always work out too. Do you believe in reptilians? Just asking. First of all, I don't believe in anything. You're asking me, do I know? Or because belief is not something. Belief is having a system of lies that you just can kind of artificially construct. If you're asking me that question, you might be new here. I would suggest you listen to your President Obama on The View. Why don't you Google that, President Obama on The View, and when he talks about the reptilian side of the brain that drives us in our certain primal behaviors, then you come back and ask me if I believe in reptilians, because then you would answer your own question, because you're asking me something to maybe, justify your, your theory that I'm crazy, or to verify something that you may have a theory about. And you can verify for yourself. How do you feel about this big CBD tea movement? Thank you, T Unique. CBD? What's CBD? Certain things I don't know the codes to. What's CBD, my love? CBD, is that Chief? Is that Chief? CBD? Is that what it is? Marijuanas? Oh, okay. I'm of a certain age. I don't know the terms. I personally think that it's been, it's a form of covert takeover. A lot of these things that they're utilizing or projecting to you have already been taken over by handy dandy Willy Wonka, and they're being served to you as a way to, they're being served back to you, toxified, like as a neurotoxin. Okay, I wouldn't touch anything that Willy Wonka makes. I wouldn't take anything that Willy Wonka synthesizes. If you don't make it yourself, and remember, family, who you're talking to. Oh, thank you, Super Zachary. Remember who you're talking to. I come from an island where everything we make. If you have Chief, we take the seeds, and like I said, they put them in overproof rum to stop fevers, and we let it sit in that. We grow those things ourselves. We create things ourselves. A lot of people are very codependent on third parties doing things for them. CBD is just another way of chemicalizing and destroying the original form of something. It's another form of colonization of something that was positive and making it into something that's a drug form, like a really unhealthy drug form. So I personally wouldn't mess with anything that any third party makes, especially when it comes to Chief. Thank you, my love. Thank you for the donation. Okay, growing, I'm always a fan. I'm an agriculture. I say if you can't grow it yourself, then you shouldn't be participating in it yourself. You have to learn how to tincture. We talked about the women, the matriarchies coming back online. We have to learn. We were the first nurses and doctors in our homes. We have to learn to create these things or keep old systems of what our elders taught us. The elders in my house taught me that you can create everything. You grow it yourself, and that's how you participate with it. Oh, thank you, Super Zachary. Thank you, my love. Thank you. I think a lot of times, we get complicit and complacent and lazy. Grow things yourself and have a good interface with the plants that you grow. And then you have a better interaction when you're consuming them. Okay? I just think it's a way that we've lost a lot of these old ways of, interacting with, plants and herbs. Okay? And remember, all of these medications that most people take are things that they've just taken from herbs from South America, Central America, and the Caribbean and other places that are warm. And all they did was change it and make it more chemicalized. So they're serving you back nature in a bio weaponry type of, synthetic form. That's just my opinion. Okay, so, grow your own. Moringa grows wild in places in Asia and in Florida. Moringa is probably the easiest thing to grow. I tell y'all all the time, y'all need to grow your moringa. Moringa grows wild like weeds. Anybody who lives in Florida, you can go across on the street and you can see wild moringa growing. And it's natural and nobody's spraying it with anything. Grow your own things. Be less reliant. If anything, this quarantine will teach you all to be more independent and more uniquely stabilized. Many of us are, like even making chairs. I'm making shoes. I'm making my own sandals. I love my sandals. We used to just be able to create anything that we wanted or liked or needed. We have to start to get back to that. We've lost ourselves. And this is a gift from the goddess. She's bringing us back to ourselves. It's beautiful. Let's take that upon ourselves and be more united. One thing about quarantine I want to say is that the only thing that I want everyone to do is to be more connected to your neighbors, more connected to people in your direct location. This should be a time when you come together. This shouldn't be a time that separates you. It should make you more in sync with who's around you. It should make you, like, You have the backyards. You think us and the neighbors are not going to sit in our backyards burning our terracotta stoves and talking together? This is a time, take this time that you have together and meet the people who are around you. That's who you need to make good with. Make friends with people. Maybe you work so much you never even talk to your neighbors. They're probably really, really sweet. Sit outside and have, and grill together. I know I'm in a warmer region, so when I say, a lot of times with us, we'll be grilling in the back. All the schools are shut down. Take the little people out. We went out walking and did a nature walk yesterday. We do nature walks. Take time with your children. You want to go hiking? Sure, let's go hiking. Go hiking in nature. Nature isn't sick. Nature's healthy. You don't have to be around a whole bunch of people in nature. Thank you, Golden Mommy. Oh, thank you, Golden Mommy. What should you do with your baby placenta after they're born? Take your baby placenta and bury it it should be about 6 feet in the ground, and then grow your herbal garden around it. Every herb from that garden will benefit you and the baby. It'll be 10 times as strong and potent for you and the baby than anything else. So the one thing that I've learned is you bury your placenta in your herbal garden deep, 10, you want to make sure nothing messes with it, and you plant all of your seeds for your herbs on top. Those herbs will have all of the benefits for you and your child for as long as you always keep it kept up. Okay. And if you have any issues with your herbs, one of the things I say, rather than what about, I can't say that word. What about you should be able to protect yourself. So anyone who can carry arms legally, I say by all means, if you feel comfortable holding it, by all means you should. I live in a stand your ground state, so if anybody steps on my property, they can be lit up, okay? You haven't been invited on my property. If you come here and you haven't stated that you're here for any other reason, and I don't know you, and I don't know your intent, I can light you up. So, people don't like that, but it's part of the Second Amendment, just you don't start, no won't be none. I'm one of those people. So if you come on my property and you step 1 inch on, and I can't tell whether you're friend or foe, I will make you transcend, and you will come back and reincarnate and have to do this whole other spiel again. I don't play that game. Oh, wait. Okay. You said, Michelle said, your intel is on point. You said that this would happen in a video from late January, early February. What's next? My intel is usually on point. I'm usually on point. I won't come to you unless I know I won't come with you with definitive intel unless I know it for fact. And I'm a Sagittarius. I'm a triple Sag. I will vet it out over and over again. So if I come to you with intel, I always tell people. I told people to prep years ago. Remember, I told you I'm a prepper for over 20 years. I've known this. So for me, when I walk around, it's silliness when I see people running around frenzying over preparing for things that they should always be prepared for. You should always be prepared for the rain if you know there's a potentiality for rain. You should always be prepared for, the cold if you're living somewhere where it's cold. You should always be prepared for anything and everything, because you know that the world isn't as we remember it a few years ago, okay? Yeah, people, I go outside, while people are running around getting toilet paper, I just went to my local health food place where I get my bamboo toilet paper, and I picked up my toilet paper fine. There was no problems, okay? And there's no reason to be a hoarder. Hoarding is a sign that you aren't balanced. There's no reason to hoard, because you should be proactive, and you should be very efficient. Okay. If someone has their menses and you don't have pads, what are you gonna melt down because you don't have pads? No, you make shift. You make whatever works. You become better artists. The best artists I know grew up poor with nothing, and they're the best artists. The best musicians I know grew up with problems and issues. Yeah. So, what happened? Okay. So, we have to become more sensible in how we react to certain things, because our reaction says everything about who and what we are. You got it? Okay. Oh, you can take that. Right? Okay. Close the door, baby. Close that. Thank you. Okay, yeah, wash your bum. Like someone was saying something, like go in the shower and wash your bum. You know, how many times do you poop in a day? Poop apocalypse. That's what I'm saying. People obsessing with toilet paper. It's like, what do they anticipate? They're anticipating eating leached metal canned goods with lots of starch. So they're obsessing, what they're projecting into the reality is that they're going to be pooping all the time. And by obsessing with toilet paper, that's probably what they're going to be doing. I would really feel disgusted by the people who have to work in the sewer system. I feel sad for them having to clean up after these people. I mean, they're not even healthy recyclers. They're not even concerned about the trees and how, you know, I don't know. So anyway, family. Do your thing, yeah. Hey, Carlos, prune juice cures prune juice cures T-virus. That's what Carlos said. Prune juice is good for radiation. Prunes are good for radiation. Yeah, very good for averting radiation. And I did get, I wanted to share this. I did get the sheet. It was a friend of mine who told me to get this radiation, you know, this is like to make for baby blankets and for baby blankets or for baby, what else? For crib blankets. So I did get this because I do sew, because my grandmother was a seamstress. So I do have this and it does work. So I did my radiation tester. It's the EMF shielding fabric. You can get it on YouTube, on not YouTube, qu'est-ce que c'est? Amazon, and I did get it and it worked. So I tested it, you know, I have my EMF tester for radiation, so I did test it. So you can make your own baby blankets and stuff like that. If you're concerned about the amount of money that a lot of these things you spend, a lot of mommies are concerned with that. So you can make your own baby blankets, you can make your own socks, you can make your own footsies and things like that if you're concerned about radiation with the babies. So I bought this, so I'm going to do my own sewing and do this. You can make your own linens with it. You can make your own canopy with it. So it'll be fun. Be proactive. This is a time. I'm excited to go make things when I'm home alone. You know what I mean? When time in the house with the little ones, we have a whole bunch of like stuff to do with our hair. We'll be creating things. This is a creative time. Enjoy. Absolutely. The cucarachas isn't going to impede on anybody other than those who are weak-minded. And then by the nature of them being so frenzied and afraid, they're going to make themselves susceptible to every virus. So rather than being like, listen, I talked to one of the sea stars and sun stars this morning, big up to our family, our native family. I was just talking to him. I said, listen, you chose when to come in and you chose when to go out. What does it matter? If you're going to transcend, you're going to leave this planet anyway. So why not enjoy yourself? Why obsess with things that can make you sick? Because majority of people, listen, family, there's been more people who died in car accidents than what's happening now. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you for the donation. Michelle, thank you, Michelle. I love your name, Michelle. It's so French. Michelle. Michelle is very French. I think you're French. Are you French, Michelle? You parlez français aussi. Votre parents sont haïtiens. Michelle. Just make your own things. Have fun right now because you don't speak French. You have a very French name, Michelle. You probably heard that already. It's Michelle or Michelle, because Michelle to me is more French, even more French than Michelle. So make sure you just, being proactive with, I was saying something. I totally forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Looks like the lizard, they're all do, actually. Bill looks like a lizard. He looks like a lizard. They're all lizards. They're all reptilians. A lot of them are insectilians. Y'all think it's, I told you, you keep thinking it's the reptilians. It's the insectilians doing a lot of dirt. There's a lot going on. But really, at the end of the day, family, all the Satanists, this is really the Satanists are getting busted. All of these Luciferian and satanic sects are getting busted. You don't realize how many Satanists that you know This is where that's why I told you, family, every time you get on me, you guys get mad at me, like, FleurBrun, you don't say things like that about this person. Because there's people I personally don't like online that are Satanists. And I tell you all the time, you get mad at me. Some of you get upset at me. You're like, you shouldn't say that. I won't be down with anybody claiming to be a Satanist. I'm sorry. Some people are complicit with that. It's like, oh, he teaches things, and if the Baphomet means something different. Oh, no, I know what the Baphomet means at this point in this reference point on this planet. When I see you playing with dark Kabbalists, listen, I watch who you rock with. When I see people who are based in materialism, who are based in non-love and non-unity, who are highly competitive, who are harmful and hateful, I won't rock with them. And I won't pretend. I told you that's why the number one reason I don't get invited places is because FleurBrun doesn't hold her tongue. Ask the homegirl. Remember, where's Capricorn 305? Capricorn 305 went to the conference with me in New York. I don't hold my tongue, and I'm a big supporter of the Sea Stars. So I rock with the sisterhood. So, and you darn Skippy, if you any male who's doing harm, I won't hold my tongue. So a lot of times I won't be. I'm the last person that would be around places where there's a lot of insidiousness. So it is what it is. I'm okay with me and my space and people around me, but I see who you hang with, and I see the people you rock with and who you endorse, and that says a lot about you. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of you who have a lot of Satanists in your neck of the woods, and you'd be surprised, because people used to think Satanists were just lunars. Oh, the most powerful, especially in entertainment in certain arenas, is the boule. The boule is all into that Satanist and Luciferian sect. That's all brown folk. So don't sleep. A lot of you think, oh, they're brown. No. No, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. There's a lot of Satanists that are brown folk. And they're under that cloak screen. They cloak themselves because you identify with them as brown people. That's what I'm saying. Stop getting to that complexion, because there's some brown folk that you wouldn't want to be around, and they're all online. All that. When I heard there was a 1970s was it 1970s, 1980s? It was a 1980s kind of talking about super soldiers before it became a thing online. Okay. There was a whole big exposure that you don't hear about anymore. It was like, I think it was end of 1970s, 1980s. And they spoke about the love and light community was going to be created from PSYOP to create the narrative, to control the narrative of spirituality. That's why I used to get on you with all this love and light people, all these, what do you call them? Spiritualists, they're all on YouTube. And their agent directed. These are people that the Willy Wonka placed on YouTube. That's why they have 660 something followers. That's why they have 1 million subscribers. They have 300,000 subscribers, because these are all part of the system. I'm not saying there aren't people who are validly, valid, who aren't spiritual, but a lot of people whose channels are pumped unnaturally, that's because they are part of Willy Wonka's inception programs. They're people that were into, and usually you could tell, follow the breadcrumbs. I tell you all the time, if someone didn't start off in YouTube and spirituality and they dived into it later, usually it's because they are part of the agenda. Or if they came in a one sect and they ended up incepting another sect unnaturally, that's usually because they're part of the agenda. So just be mindful of that. I watch who people hang around. I just look at or I watch how much they disclose about how covert they are about their own world while inserting into your personal world. Okay? If I can't see you, but you're talking about how much you can see me, I already think you're shady. Okay? I don't need to know everything's personal about someone's business, but if they're inserting themselves and giving you advice on your own personal life, but disallowing from you to see their personal life, giving you a sense of transparency, I question that. Okay, maybe that's just I'm old school, so you got to take in consideration. A lot of you have to realize FleurBrun is not that young. I've been around the block a couple times, so I see things a little differently. I've got the wisdom of someone who's been here as long as I've been here. Okay? So I just watch what people do and watch who they hang with. That's it. You know, if everybody around me is dirty, you should perceive I'm dirty. If you come around me and you see my children are sick mentally or spiritually, and then you come around me and my husband or my boyfriend or my lover is sick and they're abusive, or you come around me and my mother, that's a sign something's wrong. If I'm promoting myself as something other than that, you understand? So it's like if I'm promoting myself as being perfectly love and light and just perfect, and then everything around me is chaotic, you should see me as chaotic. That's what I'm saying. See me as the people I'm around, that I surround myself around. That's all. So, because I always have the young sisters always ask me, how do I know if he's a good guy? Look at his friends. They ask me all the time, you beautiful sisters. Let me say to my sisters, my young ones, my millennials, let me talk to my babies. My millennials, I love you. You're so beautiful. Oh, I meet so many amazing millennials. You are so sweet and kind, and you're so proactive. I love our millennials. They're so young. But I know it's very difficult because you're growing in a different social time. Very social media ignited. And I understand. I do understand. I'm learning that more. So I try to be less critical of you guys because you're learning a little differently. But, let me see. You want me to note? Where's my note? But I want to say this to you. I want you to be more proactive in making sure that if you question the person that you're around, I want you to just use proper discernment. Baby, come, close that for me. Thank you, close that. Thank you. I just want you to use discernment with your males. You know, a lot of my young sisters ask me questions about males, and I just want to say this to you. If birds of a feather flock together, that's the easiest way you can discern a gentleman, okay? So you look at a gentleman and you see him with friends that are they abuse their own girlfriends. They talk negative about the people that trust them. You know, any man who talks bad about his girlfriend or wife in front of strangers, but lives with her and she entrusts him with her heart, that isn't somebody that's a nice person. That's a person that you shouldn't trust. Okay? So that's a basic. I know a lot of our young millennials have issues. Oh, what'd you make? You made me something? You cooked for me? You didn't make anything for me, anything? What you having now? You gonna sit with me? What are you doing? I have my own little pea pod in here. My pea pod. Oh, what happened? Somebody said something? Tree full of hope. Oh, do we have trolls on here? Oh, what's happening? Oh, we have trolls coming in? Wow. You're live. Oh, uh-oh. We got bots coming in? Uh-oh. We have bots coming in. Okay. I don't like you. What does it say? Okay. I don't like you. What is that? Hold on. I have my little one doing something over here. Oh, thank you for my donation. Thank you. Oh, you were trying to do codes? Uh-oh, it broke off. See, I have my little one doing magic tricks already because they're getting ready for quarantine. Oh, we have Becky Bots on here? Becky Bots? Oh, Becky Bots are in here. They're mad at me. Becky Bot is going to have a hard time during quarantine and school closing because Becky Bot has not watched her children since birth. So Becky Bot is accustomed to using the school system as her babysitting. So when Becky Bot has to stay home with her children, she's going to lose her mind. She's never watched her children. She uses wine and spirits as her daily elixir to be able to cope with the non things she doesn't even do anyway. So Becky Bot might lose her mind during this quarantine. So y'all should be careful with Becky Bot. I told you, Yoga Tom is not a problem during this time. Yoga Tom is in his house meditating and creating other timelines. He said he won't interact with us because he thinks we're all dirty. So, you know, Yoga Tom is inside doing love and light ritual. He's playing all the Salvaggio sounds to clear off us demons, because he considers me a demon. Yoga Tom considers me a demon because he thinks that I use, he thinks that I'm judgmental, and I'm wishy-washy. He thinks that I'm not all about unity consciousness, okay? Because he used to watch too much television when he was younger, and he thinks I'm one of those. Because he still has subconscious prejudices. Do you know and like Ralph Smart? Hey, thank you, Monica. I appreciate it. Ralph Smart, I told you I don't really like or dislike him. He was shapeshifted into a bird type being. That's the only thing I can say about him. Ever since I see him shapeshift, I don't even know what to think. I don't really have an opinion about him anymore. The only time I was a little disturbed is when I thought he was bleaching his skin. But someone said he wasn't bleaching his skin, so I'm okay with that. But I saw him shapeshift into a bird, like a yellowish, like a nose, and blue around, beautiful bird. So I don't know what he is. He's a bird of some sort. It's some sort of, I don't know if he's a Syrian. I don't know what he is. But he was a beautiful bird. And I saw him shapeshift. I'm good at seeing people in their original form. So maybe in another timeline, another dimension, he's that type of being. But it was a beautiful looking bird. It was different. So I don't really have anything negative or positive to say. I don't really listen to him. I used to listen to him years ago because a lot of what he said was valid. I don't listen to him now, so I can't judge him. Teal Swan, someone sent me something. Big up to the Sea Star who sent me Teal Swan. I think it was Jennifer. Jennifer sent me something on Teal Swan. I can't listen. As much as many people say negative things about her, I don't like looking at her because I just think she looks cold and far removed. I think something's inside of her. But everything she says is 1000%. I listened to something she just did recently. Jennifer from Cypher sent it to me. My gosh, she's on point. She's more on point. That's how I know she may not be human. She's so on point. She's too off on point. She's, you know, when something's so unorganic. She isn't from here. Whatever's inside of her. A lot of you said she was part of a Satanist. Okay, I see that. Hold on, my little one's doing a trick. Hold on, I have to participate. Don't like you. Okay, it didn't show up. Oh, it's supposed to show up on the other side? That's okay. Okay, try it again. You maybe don't do it on tissue. Do it on paper. It works better on paper. Oh yeah. Like you would have to get a bowl though. Okay? Alright, my little ones are requiring me. Yeah, I don't Teal Swan, let me just say this. Teal Swan's information is on point. Like I said, I don't know what's in her. I don't like looking at her. I don't resonate with her. When I look at her, it creeps me out. I don't know why. It's just she's very far removed. She's almost like a biobot. I don't know, or a synthetica. It's almost like something is inside her. But let me state this. I know when I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. She is on point. Woo! She's probably more on point than anybody. There isn't any other female online other than that's from that sect. Okay, from her sect. I don't really play in the love and light community because they don't like me. They think I'm a hood rat because they think all brown people are hood rats. I'm serious. I keep it real with y'all. That's why I get in trouble. Most people who are love and light have a lot of prejudices that they don't acknowledge. So it only comes out like when they think we do something criminal. Okay, they may see me as cool, like a cool other, until something comes up. Okay, so I don't really play in that department because they always say that what's the number one thing they say in the love and light community? They say that they just don't trust me. I'm keep it real. They say they don't trust me. Like I'm a criminal. Oh, I don't trust her. Something about her I don't trust. That's because they have subconscious prejudices about brown people. They don't say it. They don't even know that they suffer from forms of bias. You know, some people are just, they don't acknowledge it. They just have it and they're in such denial because it doesn't even feel it. It doesn't come to it doesn't come out overtly. So they deny it, you know, but they don't know why. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you, 11. Oh, thank you. Mr. Cookies, have you hold on. Have you touched on why it appears only lunar humans are being affected by the virus? Did I miss it? Because the virus is, well, if we're talking about the T virus itself, the T virus itself, if we're talking about the so-called virus, it was geoengineered for the Xinhua, and it would affect certain people in the genome that have more in commonality with some of the Xinhua. And remember, okay, I see. And what happens is that because you have borders like Russia that are close to Mongolia mountain, where the mountains are and so on, they share a lot of the same genomes with their neighbors. So I think that's why a lot of lunars might have been affected based on them having a connection to close gene pool with some of the Xinhua. If we're talking about the real virus. Oh, I see it. Hold on, she did a trick. I don't like you. I love you. I love you too, Kikabuka. I love you. She did this trick. Have your little ones do this trick. You guys ever do the trick? My little one just did it. She did, huh? I'll show them. Yeah, you can put it here. You can put it right in front. No, just show them. Let me show them. Okay, I'll show it. Look what she did. Oh. Yeah. So she did this, like, it says this on top. It says, I don't love you. But then when she wets it, it says, I love you. So it's like a trick. So you have to wet the paper, and then it says, I love you on top. It's cute. It's like a little coded thing. We're doing, like, staying in the house a little bit more. We do stuff like that. It's cute. You guys should do that with the little ones. It's like little coded messages when you wet it. So, yeah, you can't say that anymore because now it's not lunars. It's going to be everybody who's being accused of having the T virus because it's being coded. It's being hidden along with mass arrest of celebrities and CEOs and people who've done crimes against humanity. So it won't even matter at this point. There's no real T virus in the same way. There's something coded in the virus. It isn't really a virus. Now it's a smokescreen for mass arrest of diabolical ones. Coronavirus is at Hollywood Productions. Exactly. That's all it is. So it's not even based anywhere because it has it's lost its validity. It did what it did in Xinhua's neck of woods, but they were doing a global takeover. So I think I think they probably had something to do with it. It's so much involved. Like I said, it's a combination platter. It's a combination platter. It's not one thing. It's a multitude of things that are creating everything. Okay? It's a global takedown and shift and reset. It's the purge. So it's everything. So everything's up for change. That's all. It's all good though. If you aren't, like I said, it shouldn't even matter. If you aren't a diabolical one, if you're not doing harm, and remember, family, it's not just celebrities. I want to say this. If you are a nasty person, this isn't the time for you to think that you're going to get away with it. Anybody who's done harm to anyone, like, listen, I just got word. Listen to this. So I'm going to tell you something that's unrelated to any of this, but it's related. That's why I said that's why I say it's a combination platter. So I got contacted by my girlfriend, okay? So my girlfriend used to be married to, many of us were, but she was married to a narcissist, but he was highly abusive. When I said, close this baby. Oh, yes, you can, okay? Be careful. She was married to a narcissist, Nazi, which many of us were, okay? And I knew her many years ago, but she kind of dipped off the grid a little bit because the last time I saw her, he had beaten her so bad. This is years ago. This is over 15 years ago. 15 years ago. I haven't really seen her for about the last, 15 years. It might be 15 years. Maybe 15 years ago. So she was married to somebody who was in the limelight. He was in the limelight. I will say this. I can't say who because I gotta protect her anonymity and myself because I can get in trouble. People get really litigious. So he was someone in the limelight that many of you know. He would beat her. And he would beat her so bad. She's tiny, very tiny. He broke her collarbone. He broke her foot, her ankle. He beat her when she gave birth to her son. He didn't like how she how she didn't quickly get up because she hadn't slept for days. You know, she just gave birth and she. No, it's in the garage. Go get one. That. We shouldn't use those, baby, because that's for the preservative. Okay, you can have that one. Okay. Anyway, so he broke her collarbone, broke her leg, and there was an incident where we were all around. This is where the coup de grace. She had gave birth to a son, and she didn't get up quick enough, and he knocked her out. Okay, so there was one time I didn't know what was going on to the heightened degree, and I was over the house after she gave birth, and he came in, and apparently we knew or suspected that he was messing around with a groupie. Okay. So I don't hold my tongue. This is why I say, you know, people get on me, but I'm about this life. So I said to him in front of her, I was like, yo, homie, it's disgusting. You're disrespectful and you're dishonoring. How could you do that? What's the point of you getting married if you're going to do all that? So I checked him, and he went over and he smacked me in my face and he knocked me back. And then she went to go defend me, and he gave her a concussion. And we went to the hospital. We both went to the hospital. Okay. I mean, when he smacked me, he's huge. He's a huge guy. He's like 6'7.5" or 6'8". He smacked me so far back that I lost I got you know when you get like stars, like he knocked me that far back. So when I went to fall back, she went in for him and he knocked her out, like gave her a concussion, and then he left. So, this person, I keep it real with you. So, you know, when I talk about, I know mean-spirited men, that men are abusive, that are basically Nazis. I know that. So we went to the hospital and so on. Now she got an order of protection. She eventually got a divorce at the time, but because I was brought up into the incident, you know, it was bad blood. It was just dirty. People in my life didn't like it. Anyway, let's fast forward, family. 2020 hits January. The man was in a bad car accident. He didn't die. He can't walk, talk. He will be immobilized for the rest of his life. This is a man that was the most abusive man. He abused women. He was very narcissistic. He didn't have care for anything. This man was in a car accident head on, and it was January 3rd. It was the beginning of 2020. Now, we had gone to a psychic when we were younger, and they said that he will pay for that crime years later. He isn't able to walk, talk. He will be peeing in a sack for the rest of his life. He will have to have somebody take care of him. He will never be the same. This was a man that had a lot of power, a lot of prestige, and he's like this. Nobody's talked about, well, I think one person on social media, no, a couple people on social media knew about it. So I'm just saying, 2020 has taken people out that do harm to people. This was a wonderful woman. She's an amazing mother. I was so grateful to call her my friend. She's been through a lot. And years later now, as we're going coming into the age of Aquarius, we're starting to see people who've done harm to women, to children. They're starting to pay. So I'm just saying, this is that time, January 3rd. It happened and so on. It was 10 other incidents that I could tell you firsthand of people that thought they were going to get away from doing harm to their family, their mothers, their sisters, and they're paying. Okay, so it's happening. So it isn't just celebrities that are paying. These are regular people. Okay, so, if you aren't a person that does harm to anyone's family, husband, wife, this is a beautiful time for you. If you've always been a good-hearted person who's been taken advantage of, this is a time you actually get reprieve. You have a moment to actually, take a deep breath and exhale, and you will have everything available to you to heal and to uplift yourself and your children. So, it is a beautiful time on the planet. I'm not saying I wish that man harm, but it was very interesting to be able to witness someone who was hurting women. I mean, literally, when he smacked the heck out of me, he didn't hesitate. He did it, and knowing I had somebody who was vouching for me, he didn't care. These are the type of beings that are on this planet. And, just to see that justice has been served, and that every hit that he gave every woman in his life, he has basically taken it all in one lump sum. His karma came in one big lump sum. And the karma disallowed him from dying. It's going to make him live with the limitations. The same limitations he initiated without thought, without reason, and without empathy or sympathy. Okay? So it's going to be an interesting time. Sorry, family. I hope this was helpful. I hope I stayed on point. I cannot see your comments as well. I still have the wrong contacts in. I had ordered contacts, and my contacts, I should have just got them. The office where I got my contacts has been closed, so I couldn't get my contacts from my office because they didn't have it in stock. So I have different contacts in, and it's hard for me to read. I wear glasses, so I wear contacts. I can't really see your comments. I'll read it afterwards. Okay. I can see, if I squint, I could see them. So, family, it's on and popping. Everything is all good in the hood. I hope you enjoy your quarantine. We'll be doing, I told you I'm going to do an LP pooping with the TP apocalypse. I'm going to do a whole video dedicated to the hoarders of the toilet paper. These bastards stealing all the toilet paper. It's going to be a good one too. I'm going to make it, I gotta make it a good one. So, enjoy. If we go into quarantine, stay positive. This isn't our struggle. If, this is a beautiful time. Aquarius is coming in. Mass arrests are being made of people who do harm to those on the planet. All these colonizing bastard subspecies beings who have been harming, humanity are going to have consequences. Okay? So I hope this is helpful. I hope everything's well. Stay good. Make sure you have, nice fresh teas. Make sure when you're going in quarantine, like we're already starting. My little ones were always doing crafts. We have fun doing crafts. The only thing is I didn't. Oh, thank you to the Sunstar who told me to get my domino table. I didn't get it, but I'm gonna go pick it up hopefully tomorrow. So thank you. Told me to go to Ace. So thank you, Sunstar, for telling me where to get my domino table. I gotta get a domino table to play dominoes. Enjoy this time, okay? And we'll recollect, and many of you will be more relaxed when quarantine begins. So the siren, when you hear that siren that you're going into quarantine, you should do the stop, drop, and roll, like stop, drop, and roll. You should drop it like it's hot and get excited. You know what I mean? This is a good time on the planet, okay? So we'll reconvene. I'll probably be on, I know I haven't done my IG in a while. I'll probably be on IG tonight, so you can join me tonight. I never tell you the time I'm on IG. Oh, you made it? What you make? Tea? Soup? Ah, okay. My little one needs soup. So I'll probably be on IG tonight. I haven't done it for a while, so we'll probably be discussing some of the other things going on. I usually discuss like more, less other things we discuss on IG. All right. So I'm gone. Enjoy. Celebrate. It's on, family. We're going through the reset. Hold on. Put your seatbelts on, and we'll be okay. Oh. I'm getting intel as we proceed. I love it. Thank you, Sea Stars and Sunset. Thank you for Phoenix Rain. I can see you sharing your, thank you, Phoenix Rain. Phoenix Rain is sharing some intel right now. All right. I love you, family. Stay safe, stay positive, and stay well. All right. Until